13th annual Marty Loy Wrestling Classic. We're up at 120 pounds. The top two seeds colliding. The number one seed from Manitowoc Lincoln, a sophomore, a champion a year ago as a freshman at 103, Zach Youngchild. And the number two seed from Sheboygan Falls, he too a sophomore, Alex Fitzgerald. Youngchild 13-2, Fitzgerald 14-2. Youngchild in Division 1 at 120, ranked 5th. And Fitzgerald in Division 2 at 120 holds the number 6 spot in the rankings. Youngchild and Fitzgerald here at 120 pounds. Match brought to you by Milk. I'm already working on my third chocolate milk of the day. Can't beat chocolate milk. And a big thanks to Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board and their support of high school wrestling here on BadgerStateWrestling.com. Strong body of research highlights that low-fat chocolate milk is the best post-recovery beverage to have after a long workout or wrestling match. Chocolate milk has the ideal ratio of carbohydrates and protein to replace energy stores and rebuild muscles. Most other sports drinks do not contain this perfect ratio of carbs to protein. Already down to 30 seconds here in this first period. No score. Youngchild in the red singlet. Fitzgerald in the purple and yellow. And a double stall call. Fitzgerald with an underhook with his right arm. Youngchild with a wrist. Youngchild was 4th at the state tournament a year ago, lost his opening match, then came back on the backside, won 3 straight before losing to Bobby Knockreiner of Hartford 13-4. But Youngchild, the impressive state tournament as a freshman, standing 4th on the podium. He's starting second period on bottom. Youngchild 44-4 a year ago. His father, Jack Youngchild, head coach there at Manitowoc Lincoln. And Youngchild on the board first, 1-0. Both of Fitzgerald's losses came at the Spartan Duels at Luxembourg Casco. Lost to Zach Smith of Port Washington and to a wrestler from Marmion Academy in Illinois. Fitzgerald 37-11 a year ago, was 5th at the state tournaments. Beat Taylor Elliott of Prairie du Chien 14-2 to take 5th place. 105 on the Vance Honda of Green Bay scoreboard. Youngchild up by 1 at 1-0 in the second period. Second period escape by the Manitowoc sophomore, the lone tally. And Youngchild scores a takedown. He leads it 3-0. Fitzgerald also runs cross country. Youngchild's 2 defeats to Nick Urso and Dylan Donnelly. 15 seconds. Fitzgerald in desperate need to get on the board. Youngchild tough on top. He gets the ride out to close out the second period. And now Fitzgerald with choice. It'll be interesting to see what he chooses. He's going to waste no time in selecting bottom. And he's got to stay busy on bottom, get hand control, and whatever it takes, 2, 3, 4 moves, you cannot get caught underneath. Not against a guy like Youngchild. Youngchild, tight waist, grabs a wrist. a year ago at 119. It was Colin Bain of Wausau West over Brett Beekler of Wrightstown, 8-0. Top two seeds, Youngchild, the number one seed. As Youngchild hit with stalling. Remember, they were both hit earlier, that double stalling first period, so a point goes to Fitzgerald. Now a 3-1 score. Youngchild with 3 pins on the day for Fitzgerald, the 2 seed. An opening round pin, then a 7-0 decision in the quarterfinals. And in the semis, beat Mark Meyer of Random Lake 5-2. But Fitzgerald having a tough time on bottom. You see Youngchild, good hip position, tying up the wrists. And Fitzgerald has had no answer on bottom. Youngchild drops to the ankles. Got to make sure he's working up. Tough spot to be in, but he's got to work up. Believe Youngchild just got hit with a locked hands. And now it's 3-2. Tide is turning, now 46 seconds. And Youngchild will have to rely on his top wrestling, and he's been very solid up to this point. Able to beat the near arm. And Youngchild going to score a couple of near fall points. Now leads at 5-2, and one thing I really respect and appreciate is a kid that is tough on top in tough matches. You have got to be able to ride. You got to be able to ride kids, turn kids. When you're on top, you got to be thinking, I'm going to score. And Youngchild, in my opinion, the difference in this match is his ability on top. Fitzgerald pulled to within 1. It was 3-2. That was with 46 seconds left, and Youngchild stays tough on top, works a turn. And Youngchild 10 seconds away from being a 2-time Marty Lloyd champion. Match brought to you by Milk. And Zach Youngchild of Manitowoc Lincoln improves to 14-2. Youngchild over Fitzgerald, 5-2 the final. Zach Youngchild, your 2011 120-pound Marty Lloyd Classic champion.